We are officially halfway through the 2024 F1 season so far. And the biggest thing that everyone is talking about so far is Red Bull replacing Sergio Perez at the end of the season. At the beginning of the season, Perez was regularly on the podium with his teammate Max Verstappen, to now making many mistakes in qualifying, as well as crashing and running near the back, which is hurting Perez in the standings right now. And although Perez did extend his contract with Red Bull through 2026, if Perez continues to perform poorly, his contract most likely will be terminated, which means anyone can take Perez's place for 2025. Now, I just want to say this right now that I don't hate Sergio Perez, as he is a good driver, and he doesn't deserve all the hate he gets, as he has accomplished a lot throughout the sport of his career. So why is Perez running so poorly and crashing almost every race weekend? Well, let's find out. Many people would point to the 2023 season for when this all started. In 2023, Red Bull revealed the RB19, where it was a rocket on the track, which would lead them to win the Drivers' and Constructors' Championships, and winning 99% of the races. So, a good car, a good team, meant that Perez was going to be able to contend for more wins and possibly the championship. And it certainly did look like that. At the start of the 2023 season, Perez ran mostly up in the front, winning in Saudi Arabia and Azerbaijan. However, after a consistent start to the season, Perez began to struggle and resulted in some mediocre finishes for him. And in some races, Perez would even DNF. One big example was Perez ultimately making contact with Charles Leclerc in Mexico City. However, despite the inconsistency, Perez was able to finish second in the championship standings. Now we're in 2024, and the same thing is happening, but way worse. Where in every race weekend, it seems like Perez will ultimately wreck out in practice, qualifying, or in the race itself, which is making Checo look like more of a joke than an actual race car driver. In Monaco, he ultimately crashed in qualifying and then was taken out on lap 1 of the race. Then in Silverstone, he ultimately was out of Q1, and in the race he would end up finishing P17. And after the most recent round of the Hungaroring, Perez now sits 7 in the point standings behind Lewis Hamilton and ahead of George Russell. So if Perez continues to perform poorly, who will replace him at Red Bull? The drivers that are considered for the Red Bull ride are Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda. And the driver that I feel like that truly deserves to have a seat at Red Bull would be Yuki Tsunoda. And while I do like Daniel and his personality, he hasn't been as competitive since he raced with the Red Bull team, and has generally been off the pace compared to his teammate this season. And with Daniel not getting any younger, if he does get the Red Bull ride for 2025 or even this year, he could just stay with the team for only 2 seasons. And although he has improved on his qualifying and finishing positions, it's not saying all that much compared to his teammate. With Yuki, he always seems to be fighting for points every single race weekend, as well as qualifying in the top 10 more often. And although he's not in the best car on the grid, he's able to get good results when race day comes around. The only thing that I feel like that's holding Yuki back from getting the Red Bull seat is ironically his temper. Because with that temper that Yuki has, it can make him cause many mistakes during races and make him lose valuable points for his team. Thankfully, Yuki's temper hasn't gotten the better of him this season, which has been able to help him score plenty of points this season. Now, there are other drivers that are rumored to get the Red Bull ride, the 2 biggest ones being Liam Lawson and Carlos Sainz. Liam Lawson, I believe, is unlikely to get the Red Bull ride, mainly because he has less experience in Formula 1, and only running a few starts in the AlphaTauri car for Daniel Ricciardo. The best thing to do for Liam is to ultimately put him in the RB car for next year, so that way he can develop and be considered for a Red Bull ride in the coming years. And let's be honest, signing a young driver next to a 3-time world champion wouldn't really work out all that well. As for Sainz, while I would like to see him get the Red Bull ride, I feel like this might not happen either. Mainly because Carlos can't seem to choose which team he wants to go to for the 2025 season. So if Carlos doesn't make a decision sooner rather than later, then he's not going to have a ride for 2025. Then again, Sainz was part of the Red Bull Junior development team, so maybe Red Bull might pick him up. So in conclusion, is Checo going to lose his ride at Red Bull? And the answer will be a yes, unfortunately. So if Checo gets replaced, where will he go next? Will he retire, or will he go to another team? For me, I feel like he might go to another team for 2025, as there are a couple of teams that Perez can go to for 2025. Plus, Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton are in their 40s and they're still performing well. But then again, I might be wrong, and Perez might just retire at the end of the season. As for the driver that takes Checo's place at Red Bull, while I wanted it to be Yuki, I feel like it will be Ricciardo. Why? Because for most of his career, Daniel has been with the Red Bull family, with him also having much more experience than all the other drivers, not to mention the huge fan base that Daniel has. But what do you think? Do you think Sergio Perez is done at Red Bull? Let me know in the comments below. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And turn on that notification bell so you can be notified for all my new videos that I'm going to be posting. So again, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!